Hi guys, and welcome back to the pod. This is Laura, the chairperson for this year.
And I'm Aoife, I'm the secretary for this year, and I'm so delighted to be back.
Oh my god, and Aoife, we have such an exciting episode for everyone. This is probably my favourite episode that I've done this year.
It's so iconic, and just these girls are just the most entertaining people to listen to in your whole life, so you're definitely in for a treat.
So anyone that doesn't know who DCUT is, they're basically a gossip account. They're basically Gossip Girl. And people were sending them in anonymous, outrageous confessions to their Instagram account. And no one knew who this person was. Everyone's trying to figure out who it is. Everyone's like, this person's going to get kicked out of school if people figure out who it is. Their names, who they are going by, and I know for a fact it's not their names. They're going by the names Joe and Ashley. The two girls are from Canada. They're not from DCU, they're not students, and they literally picked a random college in Ireland and just decided to make a T account, and they are the funniest people I've ever interviewed.
It's just the most insane and iconic thing that I've ever heard of anyone doing. So it's just the most hilarious conversation I think we've ever had.
So if you want to listen more to their intentions behind the account, the most outrageous confessions that they were sent, and just what they took away about DCU and Dublin as a whole is just so funny. So we're going to play the interview now. But as always, you can follow us on social media at HerCampus DCU. And thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Okay, so Joe, welcome to the pod.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you on. It's been I think we've been planning this for the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
been a few weeks in the making, I think, since I've been texting you.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I actually listened to a couple of the things on your podcast as well. They're very good.
You listen to the girls. Oh, they'd be delighted to hear that, because we were so afraid that you were going to roast our asses.
I thought you were going to roast us. I thought you were going to roast me. Because you're like part of the journalism society. That's why I did it, to be honest. If you want to go ahead, I won't stop you. It's only fair.
But me and you had like low-key beef back in April.
What did I say?
You commented on one of my pictures and you were like, where are your boots from, on my personal Instagram, and I was like, this, because no one fucking knows who you are, so I was like, this is obviously someone I know. I texted you back and I was like, not knowing who's running this account is giving me so much anxiety. And you texted back something so bitchy. You were like, bye, girl, bye. I just want to know where the boots are from.
That's so mean. And that's so mean. I'm sorry, Laura.
No, it was so funny. And I texted you back. I was like, babe, no need for the animosity. They're just from ASOS.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, I just want to know about your shoes. I didn't want to like see your feet or anything like that. Maybe that's how I came off. I get it though, because you don't know who's running the account, so it could be a friend or like a prof or someone who knows you personally, and that could be nerve-wracking. So I get it.
No, your comment back was hilarious, because I was like, I obviously don't know this person, but no one. When did you expose yourself?
Early January.
What made you do it?
A lot of people were asking, and I was tired of running it, so I figured, why not go out with a bang?
Just to also, kind of go back.
Like I was a very enigmatic person. Nobody knew who I was. And Laura, you're not the only person to have said that. I DM'd some people asking if they wanted to share any tea, people who like followed me on the account, and they said, I don't feel comfortable with you asking me that question because I don't know you. So why do you follow me? Like, out of curiosity. I thought it was very odd. There were other people who started conversations with me in my DMs. They DM'd me first, and then after a while they said, it makes me feel uncomfortable how I don't know you. Stop texting me. You texted me first. What?
That's nuts. I would never text those accounts though, because they like, your account gave me anxiety. I was like, I don't know.
That makes complete sense, Laura. After I roasted College View, I completely understand why you were so anxious.
Did anyone from College View reach out to you about that article?
No, no one did. There was such good sports about it.
That's good. I write for College View too, so I can't really roast them too much.
You can do it. They'll just edit it out. We won't tell anyone. It's all hush hush.
Did you say to me as well, you were like, they haven't blocked me yet? I think you said that to me in DMs or something. I run that account. That's why you haven't been blocked.
Oh, really? Thank you. You could have blocked us, but you didn't. You know what's crazy? The DCU SU, their student union, it's called the student union, right? Is that what you guys call it? Okay, because it's the same thing here. Their student union, they blocked us, and we never even DM'd them or interacted with them in any way. Lots of people just had complaints about it, and they didn't like they didn't like the fact that we gave them a platform. So instead of changing anything, they just decided to block us.
Did they reach out? Like, did anyone reach out to you from either the SU, from DCU, or just in general, just with complaints about it? Because I didn't really follow you that much, but just I never really seen any just bullying or anything mean being said. It was just like, I really want to ride my lecturer.
Exactly. So many people were lusting over their lectures. And to be honest with you, I never had anyone from the SU reach out to me, but I did have one of the university professors say that they liked the account and they liked that I gave a voice to their students, because obviously you can't post stuff like that on the DCU Facebook or Instagram. So they said they liked that, and then I searched up their name because I noticed that the person who said it was older than, the average DCU student. And then I found out that they were a professor, and like their whole life was just there on the first page of Google. I thought that was crazy.
That's so funny that they reached out though.
Oh, that actually never happened.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what?
Are you trolling us?
Sorry, I can't help myself. That was fun. No one from the school ever.
Laura, we fell for it.
But no, if anyone could see on the Zoom, me and Eva are out of our seats with our eyes like bulging out, going, yeah.
We saw them. We're dying.
So where did the controversy come from with the page? Because from kind of my view, it was obviously just to kind of actually just to go back to the start, what exactly is DCUT?
That's a very good question, Aoife. DCUT is a T page I created for the School of Dublin City University, where people would send me gossip anonymously and I would post that. And I got the idea for that off of TikTok. A lot of people were doing it for high schools in the US though, but I decided to go all the way and then just choose a random university from Ireland. But I didn't choose, you know what? The guy who runs the confessions page, the T page for NUI Galway, he retweeted that article on Twitter, and then he wrote, can you imagine if she actually made a T page for our school, the guy who already has a T page for that school? And I thought that's crazy, because the only reason I didn't choose Galway, because I do have a friend that goes there right now, by the way. The only reason I didn't choose it was because I thought the name was too long. NUI_Galway_T. It just didn't look right. So I didn't choose that.
So we were more aesthetically pleasing is what you're saying.
Exactly. I think DCU was the best university to choose because it was just 3 letters.
Your whole vibe as well really fits DCU too.
What do you mean?
DCU has just a very specific energy about it. I can't describe it with any other way other than you would just fit right in.
Kind of very laid back, chaotic energy, I think, compared to the kind of uptight, stuck up, can I say that, of Trinity and UCD? But I think you definitely, you'd fit right in over here.
Of course you can say that about Trinity, Aoife. Of course you can. I don't even like that school because it was a normal people, and I don't like normal people. So DCU all the way. Greatest university of all time.
So what kind of confessions were people bringing up on DCUT?
It was mostly about online school. Some of it was pure conjecture, especially about other female students, and just some very rude tells that we obviously never posted. But I thought that was crazy because I had the expectation that most people would just write compliments and it would be boring. I didn't think that I was going to have so much fun running the account. In fact, in the first month of running it, so many people had complaints about the most inane stuff that I posted that I figured, you know what, I might as well just not run it. But I decided to stick out with it anyways, and I'm happy that I did.
So do you think that people were nearly too sensitive on it, or was it like, what was the kind of sense of the reaction? Do you think that people overall were just taking it a bit too seriously?
Well, in North America, a lot of Europeans, and I know that's a huge generalization, but Europeans themselves will go on the internet and write comments like, Europeans have such a good sense of humor, we're so sarcastic and witty and dry, and North Americans get offended over everything. And so I kept that in mind when I ran the account, and then I found the opposite. I found that in T pages in North America, because every university in Canada has a T page. Mine has one, Ashley's has one, every school has a T page. And they post the craziest shit. I wouldn't know about any bullying happening, but they post some really raunchy, borderline offensive stuff, and it stays up. And I don't think that many people complain about it. So I was really shocked. I was discombobulated even. I didn't know so many people would react that strongly. That was crazy. Yeah.
So do you think that Irish people are way more sensitive than we let on? Because what I find with Irish people is we're all savages. Like, we all say the most wild shit to each other, and it's funny. But like, there's always one person that takes it too far. So do you think that we're able to take a joke, or was it all a bit of a mess?
No, I wouldn't say that about Irish people in general, but DCU students, yeah, probably. I don't think you can take the heat, man. If you can't take the heat, don't dish it out.
So what did you make of all of the thirst messages, Alana? What do you make of the kind of way that Irish people go about dating or trying to attract, people of the opposite sex? What do you think? What was your kind of perception of the way that Irish people went about trying to ride someone?
It's rather salacious, isn't it? But I guess that's to be expected when you have the dynamic of a young student lusting after their older, economically well-off professor, right? There's always going to be somebody that doesn't just romanticizes their prof, but straight up goes all the way. So that was nothing new. But the dating culture, well, I couldn't survive. I'll tell you that. I couldn't do it. Over here, what I was told in my DMs, what I was told, this may not be true, but what I was told was that in Ireland, basically you get physical quickly and then you make the relationship official later. And it's, oh my God, Ashley's reaction. Why is your jaw dropped? First of all, hookup culture is very real here, but you just call that hookup culture. It's still in the minority, really. Like, what's considered, if you were to ask somebody what the dating culture was like here, the first thing they would think about is asking somebody out or falling in love with your friend. They wouldn't say first you get physically intimate with someone and then later you end up being a couple. So that's not the norm here, but it's fine if that's what you want to do. By all means, I'm not a prude. I don't really care what people do in their bedroom or whatever, but I wouldn't do that personally. It's so nerve-wracking, I think. Like, how would you even determine someone's boundaries or consent if they're a complete stranger? I think you would have to date them first to know what their boundaries are.
I think that's more the case with like the younger years though. Because I don't know, this is just for me personally speaking from just friends that I know and stuff. I think that was more the done thing, say, until you're about 21, 22. But like now personally, like I'm 23 and I would have to go on a date before I think about sleeping with someone. Do you know what I mean? Ooh. And I think that's kind of, it kind of varies, I think, depending on what age you are and how inexperienced you are just with dealing with the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever way you swing.
Yeah, I think it just, even coming from that, I think that the need to be physically intimate definitely comes from the fact that if I don't know a single Irish man between it's college ages, between the ages of say 18 to 23, who would go up to a girl and ask her out on a date if he wasn't absolutely plastered first. And like the only way that people really, like what you were saying, that people like get physically intimate before they kind of meet each other, is because the only place that people would be comfortable kind of flirting or trying to like get it on with someone is when they're out in like the smoking area of a nightclub and they're always drunk and it's just right back to mine and do whatever. And then maybe the next time they go out they do the same, and then they might like sleep with each other 3 or 4 times, and then there's a question of, oh, so do you want to like see each other on a Tuesday instead of a Saturday night? And then from there, that's kind of how the relationship builds. But I know in my experience, my last relationship actually started like that, in that I met him and to cut a long story short, slept together on the first date. It wasn't even really a date, to be honest. But then our relationship kind of just consisted of us sleeping with each other until like we kind of went on a date like a month later. We hadn't left the bedroom for a month. And then that kind of went into a relationship.
I had the opposite situation with the last fella I was seeing him 2 months, and he said to me, we were like on a quarantine date, we were in his car just driving around, and he was like, what did he say to me? He was like, you're lucky I'm still seeing you and we haven't done anything yet.
Oh,
that's Irish. It is
in.
Englishmen.
Yeah.
Is
awesome.
it actually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Laura,
It is.
you deserve
Yeah.
better, Laura.
Oh, girl, I know.
Where are they? I mean, point them in our direction.
Honest to God, though, I don't. No, I don't take that. To be fair, I just don't take that shit off lads, which is probably why I'm perpetually single. But yeah.
Yeah.
I see, that's fascinating because I know that I would have expected it to be that way after college, because after college it's a lot harder not only to find someone to date, but also to make any friends, because in high school and college you have a small group of people that you see every day and you know them bit by bit by seeing how they interact with the teacher, by seeing the answers that they give in class, by seeing what they passionately debate about. So it's easier to make friends and to have a crush on someone that way. But after college, after university, when you're in the workplace, you don't know anyone at all, really, aside from a professional level. So I think in that case, it would make sense to be physically intimate more easily because you don't really know someone's personality that well. So,
Do you
well,
think
that's
you'd
my
cope
take then.
in the Irish dating sphere then?
Pardon?
Do you think you'd cope in the Irish dating sphere?
No, not at all. I'd die.
What about Ashley?
You should have seen her eyes. Her eyes were bulging. And actually, by the way, her dad walked in while we were having this conversation. So
Sorry.
Understand English, so it's good.
So, what were your pet peeves during the account? Was there any like tells, confessions that you were just like, please stop sending me them, or that you were just like, I'm not gonna post this shit?
oh my God, thank you for answering that question. Thank you. Wait, what?
You said answering. Asking.
Asking? What do you mean? Hold on 1 second. Ashley, what are you saying?
You answered saying
We can edit this out.
answering the question.
Oh, my bad. See, it goes in one way and out the other. Thank you for asking that question. What I was saying was that, first of all, I did not like the amount of tells that I got from girls saying mean things about other girls. That's not cute. Don't say that. Also, the really weird way that Irish people like talk about a girl's vagina, like what, comparing it to beef. What's up with that? I don't get it.
What?
But I got some of
Beef?
those. Yeah, there was some girl who said, who said this girl, her pussy. I don't know. I don't really remember what exactly it was, but she compared it to beef, and I said that's so mean. Why would you send me that? And then she unsent it.
Wait, so she
But
actually DM'd this to you from her personal account?
yeah, why didn't she just put it in telling him? I guess she wanted me to know that there was beef or something. I thought that was crazy. But that wasn't the only DM I got about vaginas. But anyways.
What's the
There was
wildest one that you've gotten?
the wildest one that I've gotten. Hold on, I think I can find it right now for you. Just give me a second. This was during the infamous EPL beef.
I'm an EPL girl myself, so
I love you.
What the
We're
hell
on
was
the EPL side. I think you guys are funnier.
thank you. I was in second year EPL at the time, so that I feel like second year is kind of prime, like roasting time, because you're like close enough with each other and you're long enough in the game that you're like, oh, I can like have beef, but then you're not old enough to be like, shut up and stop airing your dirty laundry on an Instagram confessions page.
Exactly.
But
And in the first
it was
year,
from what I could tell, it was I didn't really follow the page if I'm honest until later on, but from what I could tell from what people were talking about, that it was like it was between like joint honors and EPL, and because joint honors, they would be doing the subject. So say in EPL is obviously economics, politics and law, but then you could be studying a joint honors degree of politics and law, but you'd be nearly like the lecturers and kind of the students in EPL would nearly look down. Now this is just the kind of what's being said, but they're kind of regarded as like not being as like important in air quotation marks as EPL. So now that is not my opinion. That's in the grapevine, but I think that's kind of the word on the street in terms of EPL and joint honors. There's definitely bitterness and a bit of resentment there.
Wow. Was it serious or was it just kidding around? Because I think over here that would just be some friendly rivalry.
Oh no, it's all very, see that the problem, this is one of my beefs with the internet, is that we just live in an echo chamber of like negative opinions. So if one person says something bad, you have to like retaliate, and it's just this back and forth and back and forth in this like vacuum of argument. But then if you actually just leave, nothing's changed. Nobody actually cares. People just like to get angry about things, and people just like to give out about things. But like nobody actually cares about, like, nobody cares about whether, you know, joint honors is like worse or better than EPL. It's just people like to, like, any excuse to just, you know,
Irish people are
fight.
very begrudging though as well. So I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of comes into it too.
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Oh, very
I
begrudging.
honestly, over here that would just be jokes. People say the same thing about drama students and nurses, and the stuff they say about nurses, especially since we're in a pandemic, is kind of mean. People say that all nurses are bitchy and mean and they were bullies in high school, and I still hear that even in a pandemic. But I don't think any nurses take it that personally because it's their major, it's what they're studying that's really being roasted. Like as a business major, the amount of people who think I have it so easy when accounting sucks balls, it's insane. I hate it when people tell me that my program is so easy because it's not that easy. It's of
Yeah.
medium difficulty, I guess. But also, I had no idea the EPL and JH beef was that big because I don't go to DCU and I don't know
Yeah.
anyone in it personally. So I'm just here stuck in my little corner, and I wasn't aware that it got this big off of my account because nobody really told me until I did the little face reveal about how intense the hate was. No one told me about that.
Yeah, it kind of gave a platform to a kind of underlying bitterness that had been there for a while, that was felt by a lot of students, like outside of kind of like Twitter, because a lot of joint honor students, from what I've been told, and I'm friends with quite a few, do feel like they're being left behind and do feel like they don't get the same advantages as EPLs do and the same kind of regard by lecturers as EPL do. So I think that like the fact that there was that beef created, and suddenly people actually got a chance to like voice how they really felt about this ongoing bitterness, people just leapt onto that, and it just completely went from there.
I see. It's
Mm.
crazy.
Wait,
Well,
so
I actually found one of those really weird, disgraceful comments that I got.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of funny. It is. I don't want to laugh at it, but it's kind of funny.
I
It
feel like
says,
it's fine to say it though now as well because it's like been so long and it's not going to, realistically the person isn't going to figure out it's about them now.
exactly.
well, it's about me, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, well, never mind.
It says, I want to insert my turgid phallus inside your vaginal orifice and fill it with copious amounts of my seminal fluid.
Sorry, what?
They said this to Carmen.
Oh.
They've no idea what you look like. That's insane.
I know. I think they said that about Kermit the Frog.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Men. Why do men? Why do they?
Speaking of why do men, keep this in mind. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll save it for later. But like, keep in mind, I know someone that you guys know, and they posted something similar. So I'll talk to you about that later. But there's this other thing sent by an EPL student, I guess. I don't know because it was anonymous, but it says, JH boys do be whipping their cocks out in the middle of lectures and telling ones to lick the cheese off. It's a disgrace, Joe. And that's why I called myself Joe.
I knew your name wasn't Joe. I could not figure that out. Jesus, we were talking
It's
about
not
this
Joe.
on. What the hell is her name? Is Ashley even called Ashley?
No, her name's okay, fine. Her name's Quiva.
Yeah.
The most North American name you could possibly think of. Quiva.
Her name's Deirdre and her name's Quiva. Nice to meet you.
Well, I did not know that people were being so brave to literally DM you from their personal accounts. Awful shit.
That's insane.
That's insane. I thought it was all just anonymous.
Most of it was anonymous. A few of the things were DMs sent in though. And usually after people would unsend them and say, please don't tell anybody that I sent this, like, who would I tell? I don't go there.
Like, I've never had the energy to send anonymous hate to anyone on social media. Like, I find the people that were texting into you very interesting.
Yeah. And like,
I wonder what
because
kind of
as,
people they are.
like, as far as they knew, you were a student in DCU. Like, for the duration of when it was most active, you could have been literally anyone in DCU who knew them and who could have known their friends, and to still like put a name and a face to this hate that they were giving is just insane.
Exactly. It's brave. There's this other thing, which once again, I apologize for laughing ahead of time, but it was also part of the beef. And an EPL student said every JH student could get lobotomized and the world would be better off that way.
Oh, here.
That's so dark.
I
What
love
the
how they
hell?
thought that would do the world a favor, as if their entire universe is just Dublin City University.
You just
Oh
know
my
that was
God.
someone from Dublin that said it, though, because Dubs do think that.
As a person who's not from Dublin, I can agree.
Some people think that there's no world outside Dublin. They think that like I live an hour south, and they think it's like they think they need a passport to get there.
It's
No,
insane.
it's literally the same thing in Toronto. People don't know any city in Toronto outside of any other city in Ontario outside of Toronto. It's insane. People will act like Toronto is New York. Like, you could ask them out on a date and they would be like, not right now, not right now. It's not destiny. There is a magic to this city. The city will bring us together if it wants to.
What?
I saw that on a Six Buzz post and I died of laughter. And by the way, my account was kind of inspired by Six Buzz. Yeah. If you don't know what it is, it's the T page for our literal city. Our whole city has a T page.
No
and
way.
it's huge.
Wait, so I want to know if you can spill any tea that you haven't shared before. So not just like your most explicit tell. I want like juicy gossip that DCU hasn't heard yet.
Okay. Well, remember when I told you that there was someone you guys knew?
Yes.
Well, why is Aoife smiling so much? She really wants to know. Okay, well, I will pull out. Ashley, do you have your phone with you?
Have to get it.
Okay, could you get it? It's important, sorry. Thank you. Whoa! Down goes the Christmas tree. There she is. Okay. You're gonna like this one, or actually it's just gonna make you lose faith in humanity. I'm not gonna tell you who put it in like ever, because I feel like they have some beef with me too, and honestly I don't want to upset them. But yeah, stay tuned. Ashley's gonna come here with her phone and then I'll show it to you. But some other juicy tea, honestly, that thing about lobotomies that almost took the cake. Let me look through. I sent Timothy Chalamet all of my answers to that little page of questions you sent me, because I didn't know who else to send it to, and my notes app is already pretty full.
Oh my God, that's so iconic.
Thank you.
You use it as a Dropbox.
Imagine Timothy Chalamet opening up this and seeing, what does this mean? T, that time someone said every single JH student could get a lobotomy and the world would be better off that way. You'd be
Poor
like,
man.
what is that?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I have to keep staring at Aoife because anytime I look at your picture, I want to cry off.
This
Just
is
for
the
the-
account I use for school, by the way. The way no professor has ever talked to me about my picture.
Wait, so
For
you
the-
do that for lectures?
Yeah, I do.
For the benefit of the listeners, do you want to describe your picture?
It's a photo that I took of myself at my mom's wedding. Where I painted my nails yellow and got my makeup done and got a hair transplant. Do you read the text? It's so
It's literally
old. That meme is
so
dead, but I love it.
It's like The only way, I don't even know, I'm trying to think of the words to describe it, because the eyes of this little shriveled baby are just so uneven, and the nails are long and yellow, and the caption says, "That don't make sense, love heart emoji." I can't, every time I look at this picture, I get more out of it. There's something I haven't seen before. So
Wait, I'm sorry, but I'm getting this image of you just, how long has this interview been so far? What, 30 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
You've been staring at that picture for 30 minutes. How have you not lost your mind?
I'd rather this than Kermit, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
what's your beef against Kermit, Laura? Spill the tea.
Oh, God.
She has a thing for Kermit, just the way
Yeah.
some guys have a thing for Kermit's phallus and vaginal orifice, I guess. Well,
It was me that wrote
Ashley,
that.
did you get
It's
it?
out.
Yeah, Laura was the one that wrote that.
That's the chairperson of her campus DCU. Kermit could get it.
Oh, right. VIP. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
The future is female. Okay, so here it is, guys. Here it is. You're in for a ride. Okay. Someone you know sent me a text saying, "I've been thinking about the sex life of student nurses a lot recently. Like they're working 40 hours a week in a super dangerous environment and they really can't risk getting COVID. But at the same time, they are young 20-somethings. So like, how do they smash without getting sick? I really want to know, but it'd be impossible to ask someone." So yeah. Don't you just love men?
Are you sure it's an EPL student?
When I said that it was someone you know, was I referring to them being an EPL or not? No, I wasn't. First of all, about this, if you are curious about other people's lives and if you're just curious about them, that's fine. You can be curious. Maybe there is a nurse who would be okay with entertaining that question. However, in this text, they said, "I really want to know, but it would be impossible to ask someone." If you already know that it's not decent to ask them that, why would you ask me that? Secondly, that is the dumbest question I've received in my entire life. Like, you really are a like, who are you to say, "Wow, I wonder how much sex nurses are having during a pandemic where millions of people are dying and they're barely getting paid a living wage to begin with"? What a dumb question. Good with that. Good luck with that.
There was accounts before you that was doing confessions on Twitter. You're the most, genuinely, I think you're the most controversial one that I've seen since I've been at DCU. But now there's DCU singles and then it's Tin DCU. Is that what it's called, Aoife?
Yeah, they're trying to make Tin DCU a thing, but I think DCU singles is definitely the up and coming anyway.
Yeah, but it's like a similar vibe where people are writing in being like, I've seen this person walking across like Henry, they're seeing them walking by the Henry Granton building. Can anyone tell me who they are? And they're like trying to hook people up. But it is a kind of similar thing, like they're doing confessions and stuff. What do you make of them? Because I kind of feel like they're riding off your coattails a little bit. They've seen how popular DCUT was, and now they're like trying to get it, like they're trying to get off your clout, is what I'm saying.
Well, you would be absolutely correct because they followed my friends in Canada who follow me on DCU. So it's obvious that they just went through my followers list and were too lazy to follow people of societies like how I did. But it's fine. I mean, get it, I guess. I don't know why I would be upset about that because I'm not active on DCUT anymore. So that's fine with me. But also, I do want to say that even though I'm the most controversial, would you really agree with that? Because the stuff they're posting on those accounts, one guy said that he's called Cuba or something, or he's called the Cuban. But is he actually Cuban or does he just call himself that? I think it's kind of weird to refer to yourself by another nationality. Did you hear about that?
No.
There's some guy on DCU singles. Some girl said he's really hot. He calls himself the Cuban, or he calls himself Cuba. I thought that was weird. And by the way, it is pronounced Cuba. My bad. So I saw that and I thought, if I posted that, would there be a Cuban in my DM saying, "Take this down"? Yes, there would be. And I would agree with them. Why would you call yourself that? I know a guy who went to my summer camp. He called himself Jose. And whenever we ate food during lunch that had pita bread, he would like pretend that he was eating a taco and he would talk about how much he liked Selena songs. And he wasn't Mexican, by the way, so I found that weird. I never did call him out on it. But this is what that kind of reminds me of. So why does he call himself the Cuban? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for controversy. It's just food for thought. Makes you think a bit. But also, I do want to point out that if there are more controversial things in the future, it's because I laid ground for that. I got all of the heat at first, you know? That one T page on Twitter, it's been inactive for some time. So I revived the gossip girl of DCU. So if they get any more scandalous and you let them get away with it, it's because I had to fight for that. Just putting that out there.
And if you could do things differently, if you were to start this account again and start from scratch, what would you do differently?
That's such a good question. I would definitely, this is an idea I had but never put into action. Game are you playing? Hello? Okay, fine. Ashley is playing Cooking Mama. Is that the game? Oh my god, I love that. I used to play that when I was little. Okay, anyways. I wanted to start a DCU yearbook where people would send in a photo of themselves just facing the camera, a portrait photo, and then a little caption they could put on the bottom or what they thought about their time at DCU, what that year was like. And then I could edit it, make it look really nice. Because I don't know, do you guys have yearbooks in Ireland?
No, not really.
No.
We had them and they're so fun. Every year, my friends and I would go through the yearbook, and every year there was some guy or girl who thought they were so creative, and their yearbook quote would be, "This was nothing like High School Musical," and I would groan. Come on, they put that in every year, or every year somebody would come out, and that was actually kind of nice. So every year somebody would come out and say, this underlined thing is really straight, but I'm not. Cool. I mean, get it, I guess. Your future grandchildren could look back at this and be like, this is a historic moment. It was captured in print. So maybe do that. Maybe also become an ally with somebody in the student elections. Maybe endorse someone. See, I came into this podcast thinking that you guys would roast me, and I was totally up for it, but it's fine. You are some very nice and lovely individuals. Good for you.
Thank you. You're lovely. We were afraid that you were going to roast us. Because you have
what's there to roast, Laura? I already came for your shoes.
Right, so we're going to wrap it up there, but thank you so much, Joe and Ashley, for being in the background. And this was so fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.